Hey, and now we are live. And there's Mr. Brian Loftus, Survival Gear BSO. What's going on, brother? It's been a while.
It
It's been a
has.
while since you was on here.
Mr. T, what's going on? Yeah, we've been busy. We got all sorts of stuff going on. We're calling this Preptober. So we've got all sorts of sales coming up, new sale every week throughout the entire month, and a couple of new things coming on board.
We'll talk about that. So, folks, thanks for joining tonight. Mountain Readiness Mondays live from Appalachian. I'm your host, of course, T. We've got a great guest tonight who is also going to be a first-timer for Mountain Readiness to join us, and we're excited to have him and talk about where he has been, where he is going, and all the things that he'll be teaching there at Fallout, just right around the corner. And who do we have in the house? Swordsman 007. What's going on, brother? I think you was first in the house. If you ain't first, you last. That's it. And then the lovely Christy. So let's see, Guy, Patrick, man, looking forward to seeing you, Patrick. What's up, man? Let's see, show up this time, part-time. Guy, man, they're blowing the comments up. Well, let's bring our guest out here, Mr. Adam Watson. Boom, there we go.
Hello.
Let me adjust everybody. Mr. Adam, how you doing, sir? Thanks for joining us tonight, man.
Thank y'all. How are y'all doing tonight?
Man, we're doing great. Don't get too fired up. Like, don't get skittish or. I mean, there's only a couple million people watching you right now.
I know.
It's not a big deal.
I'm not near as pretty as Brian either. So,
Hey, it's funny you should say that because that's pretty much so an ongoing conversation.
You got to get together with Paul Christopher.
Yeah. Have you guys met in person?
no, we have not.
No.
Brian and I spoke on the phone.
Well, when
several
you
times.
see them pants, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, you gotta introduce him. T, you gotta introduce Adam to Paul Christopher.
Oh,
Paul
yeah,
will tell you that
absolutely.
story.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, Brian got more bedazzle on the backside of his britches than most little kid purses.
Got the fancy pants, huh?
Fancy pants.
Apparently, that I've been nicknamed that guy, and I told Paul, which I haven't done yet because I unfortunately had to cancel my shows for the rest of this year, but next year in 2026, I am gonna get. I'll start a month or two ahead of time. I'm gonna buy a bunch of rhinestones and sit there, and I'm gonna glue them onto my jeans, just till I can live up to the fancy pants title.
All I'm saying is Glenn Campbell is jealous of those britches.
Total sidetrack, but one of the producers for Live PD is she's a pretty cool chick. I met her out in Vegas doing some stuff, and she's one of the producers for Live PD. But her mantra is #Team Sparkles. Like, she wears full sequin everything. I'm talking about shoes, head to toe, full sequin everything. We should link y'all up, Brian.
No doubt, man. Like the Bopsy twins. I can't wait. We actually, I want to get like a hat. Brian hasn't been able to come back. He'll be back next year with us. He's been loaded down with too much stuff. I want to get like a hat for him and have like a little post off the top and hang like a disco ball by it. That way you get the full effect. Sparkles from top down.
Heck yeah. Make it impressive. Just draw audience. We'll put him out front and he can get cars to stop.
Rather than deny it, go head first into it. Just accept it,
Hey, that's the only way to do it.
Roll with the punches. Patrick, what you talk about? Question for the tribe. Is there a power source at Fallout charge devices? No. It is 106 acres in the middle of nowhere. There is nothing around for miles. Yes, there's plenty of places to plug in. Don't worry about it. Bring you a charger. You're good to go. In fact, fortunately and unfortunately, because it is a two-edged sword, there is 5G all over that campground. So you got great internet and reception and plenty of charging space stations. And there is a bar for all of y'all that didn't see that last Mountain Readiness in May. The campground owner opened his little tiki hut up.
Ooh,
so you can get a cold brew. We've got, it was great, man. It was, we had Johnson City Farms Oh man, looky there. We got Chris Weatherman in the house. There is the man right there, Mr. Angery American. What's going on, brother? Thanks for jumping in. Listen, we were just talking about Brian's fancy pants, the usual conversation on this show.
Adam, it never ends, man. It never ends. It just keeps piling on.
So, but yes, there is a little bar there. He's got, you can have a cold brew. Last May was awesome. He went down to Johnson Farms right down the road and brought fresh strawberries in. I'm going to tell you, I never had strawberries and beer until last May. It was amazing.
An interesting combination.
It was amazing. What did he have for a beer? I don't even remember what it was. Pabst Blue Ribbon or something. It was the best crummy beer I've ever had. Just the strawberries with it. I don't know what it was. It was great. So, oh, fancy. That's right, Chris. We roll hard. Speaking of fancy and things, let me bring this up, guys. Of course, we've got big stuff happening next October. We're talking about this October. Yep, Fallout's going to be awesome. We've got a live band on Saturday night, Clicker Liquor Band. They do nothing but old Waylon and Willie and Merle, my kind of stuff. If you're into that older country, Southern rock, they kill it. So they'll be there Saturday night. Friday night, we've got Brush Beater doing the night vision and IR and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got a bunch of paid classes as well. After wrapping up, we'll talk about that there in a second too. But what I wanted to really talk about is this right here, guys, the Sovereign Health Summit. This is next October. If you've not already, scan that QR code and check it out. This is Billy Bond and I. We teamed up for this for the purpose of your health. In this day and age, we have got way too much junk in our food, in our water, due to our clothings, heavy metals, plastic. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And so everyone, including myself, loves to talk about problems in the world, the bad stuff. I'm no different. I run my mouth about the bad stuff all the time, but there is a lot of bad when it comes to health, and no one is really giving any good solutions. And this is what this is about. We've got Barbara O'Neill, we've got Doc Will Spencer and Pat Militich, we've got Jonathan Otto. We've got, there's 10 speakers there that is covering everything from soil health all the way to cellular health. And we're not talking, and a lot of these people are, of course, that are doctors. They do this for a living. So check that out, scan that thing. And if you would, give us a like, share, subscribe, give us some love so we can pass this around. It's going to be a great time. But hey, let's get on the show. If you guys have a question, make sure hashtag tracker there in the comments so I can start. Of course, the Russ of Oz is not here tonight. He is traveling on the road, making a roundabout way to Mountain Readiness for Fallout. So, Sandra Davis, what's going on? We're getting, the house is filling up. Perfect. So, Adam, man, tell us about yourself. I mean, you do tracking, you've done primitive trapping, skills like that. We have some people in our community who has done some training with you that said you were nothing less than amazing on your talents and abilities. And of course, that coming from Mrs. Jax Janega is absolute compliment, because Jax, in my opinion, is one of the an excellent instructor, especially when you're talking about tree and wild edibles and stuff like that. But she said she loved what you had, what you taught and how you taught it. So give everybody here a little bit of backstory of where you come from and how you got to where we're at now.
So my name's Adam Watson. I'm born and raised in South Alabama, about as far as South Alabama as you could get. I'm from a little town called St. Elmo. It's funny, your Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, Bayou the Battery. I went to school in the Bayou, grew up, it's literally you could throw a rock and hit Bayou the Battery from there. We call it the Bayou. Like born and raised there. Spent 20 years working all over the world, doing different things for different people, whoever had the most money at the time. But I learned tracking and all from my daddy is where I learned to track. And, I got to give credit because here recently, I think I had one of the biggest compliments I could have, as far as my tracking abilities. And that was a compliment from a man named Jimmy Dunn. Jimmy trained under David Scott Donlin and all. And Jimmy's about as good as there is. And to have a compliment from Jimmy's, it's a pretty substantial thing for me. And he's in my opinion, he's about as good as it get. But I learned how to track from my daddy, my daddy was a great woodsman. He was a great outdoorsman, loved to hunt, and could move through the woods like nobody ever saw. And then, every weekend he had me and my brother in the woods and followed daddy around the woods most all of my life. And then, went on to do other things and applied those skills throughout those things. And it's something that kind of, like, I've never had very little formal tracking. Teaching is something that I learned from my daddy, and it evolved quite a bit into what it is. And then 2018, I was injured pretty bad. My right arm still doesn't work. And I kind of evolved over and I started my business, Phoenix Canine Services, and I started training dogs at very high level, working with different police departments. I've worked with various military units, special operations units, done all different kinds of things with dog stuff. And one thing I learned very quickly through the dog stuff was dogs only 50% of the equation. Like, it seemed like I was outperforming people, and I think now I know the reason why is I was tracking with my dog. Like, I had eyes down. I'm looking at the sign. I'm confirming.
Let me throw this in here too, because I have not done tracking with dogs, but wife being LEO or ex LEO, I know a lot of the canine guys, and it's a job in itself just to keep up with that dog. If you're not keeping up with that dog, then you're losing that guy or whoever it is that you're chasing, right?
100%. And that's the thing is, if you can keep up with the dog and confirm sign when you're moving, now you're ahead of the game, right? So it's something that I went, wow, like what really made me stand out with this, and and go through pursuing the dog thing, and it's been real good. I've had the opportunity. I've taught at Auburn University School of Veterinary Medicine. I've worked all over with different units everywhere and learned a ton, and all of that has really went back into my tracking of different styles of tracking, whether we're combat tracking, whether we're doing search and rescue tracking, or whether I'm just trying to acquire food. It seems like everything I do involves tracking. And to include, just recently, a couple of days ago, a little fun story is, so I had a SEER class, right? So we run SEER, which is survive, escape, resist, evade, right? So during the urban portion of SEER, we send these people, they have a certain amount of tasks, and we send them into an urban setting with the task. And then we box them in and watch them. Well, this class got pretty jumpy and decided to just go full rabbit and take off on us. So every time they see us, they'll squirt, right? So next thing I know, I see his cop car riding around. I told one of those truckers with me, I said, they're looking for us, trying to figure out what's going on. So I stopped. We talked to the cops. Sure enough, they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're getting reports. People are calling, and so then we're trying to catch the people that we have out to shut the scenario down. And then naturally, every time they see us, they're hauling butt, running from the police. It was a whole thing. But the way, like, I had them in one area, and I'm like, they're gone. They squirted. I was convinced they were in a house and walked past the alleyway and seen toe kicks in the alleyway. I said, oh, I got them. I got them now. And literally took those toe kicks out of the alleyway. And sure enough, they went dead behind me the opposite way of everything we thought they were going to do. And it was that little bit of sign that totally flipped the equation. We moved our box 180 degrees and contained them.
Now,
So
now you're saying toe kick in the urban environment. You're talking about was just a little grass there or something that you
a
caught,
little
or
dirt, just a little sand patch in the alleyway. You know how you get those little dirt areas like where the
little
concrete
scuff?
sections
Yep.
join? Just just that little spot, just one toe kick in the alleyway. And I'm like, that don't belong there. But that's where tracking, it's one of those things. It's something you have to continuously, something you have to work all the time. It's something I look at all the time. I personally, I like being in the woods and all, and I'm always looking for tracks. I'm looking for sign. I'm kind of a curious creature, right? And urban's the worst. Uh, so it's those little things in an urban environment, like that one little patch of sand that you catch toe kick in. It's those little things that give it away, and it's those little things that you constantly are looking for on in day to day life. As I'm walking around, as I go to the Walmart, I just look at little weird stuff, and then all I'm looking for sign. What don't look right, and every bit of
Yep.
that applies to tracking
Well, and did you say at Walmart? Is that what you said?
everywhere, like going in and
Yeah.
out of
When you're
Walmart,
talking
anywhere.
about what, it's everything's weird there. It does, like
Oh yeah.
everything's weird. It don't even matter what. Doesn't matter
And
what you're looking for. That's weird.
we've been in Colorado I've been up here for the past 2 years, and so up here you're looking not to step on a needle or something everywhere you go. So you kind of pay
Is it
attention where you walk.
it that bad there? What part of Colorado are you in?
So we're in the Springs, and it depends on what part of Springs that you're in, how bad it is, and then once you get into Denver, it's a whole third world country in parts of Denver. Which, to be
Man,
honest with you, there's parts of the Springs that you can very much is third world countries.
right. If I remember correctly, was it earlier this year that Denver there was some apartment complex that MS-13 or some gang had taken over or something?
That
Am I
was in
thinking of the same
Aurora,
place?
so that's one thing. I still, I kind of practice what I preach, and I do a lot of like executive protection and do a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, we work up that way quite a bit. And there was a big deal in Aurora where MS-13 was they had a really strong presence in Aurora, and they still do. I mean, they still have a pretty strong presence in a lot of areas up there. We see things and do things, and I'm not going to speak on it too much because I don't want to put a narrative out there or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, it's definitely present.
Well, I tell you, it seems to be filtering in not just the big cities, but the small towns. These small towns are getting flooded with them now. Some around here that I've seen, and they've been
Right.
making some busts because there's not as much of an eye on them. They can hide a little better. The big cities they can blend in, but there's a lot of people. These smaller towns, we've seen these just not a couple towns over. I mean, it is little. If there's 5,000 people there, I'm surprised. I think it's under that.
And see
And
that,
they
in
just
my
busted some.
opinion, that's a situation where, in my opinion, tracking's applicable in a lot of things, right? And a
Mhm.
lot of these people that are on this thread are we all share common interests. We're all ready and for certain things, certain scenarios, and prepare for different events, right? And that's where I think tracking very much blends into home security and just homestead protection of if I have the ability and the skills to be able to pick up sign, to be able to notice when something's off, just kind of snap of the finger, that's going to give me the ability to up my security tremendously, right? If I go out and I hear a bump in the night, I can go out and, okay, that ain't right. There's a footprint there. There's this here, which is exactly the things we look for in tracking. That's what tracking is looking for the minute differences and, those things. And that's where I think it could be real applicable in a lot of situations of having these skills. Is it is going to boost your security on your homestead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially out here in the country, I've got a 1 mile parameter around the 40 acres here of the hill, and always driving around there, always kind of looking. I've seen stuff where people have scuffed up leaves. Now, I'm not going to talk myself up when it comes to tracking because I'm not going to lie. Brian and I actually attended a very well known tracking tracker and his class. And as great as it was, I can tell you, I didn't see half the shit that he said was there. And I don't know, Brian,
Yeah.
what were you the same way? Because I was like, I don't know what you're talking about here. Like, in the tall grass, shoot, yeah, I can tell he's going that direction. He's coming back this direction. But this whole leaf litter crap, nah, I'm not there. And it's one of those skills, I guess you got to be doing that nonstop.
So I'm from the American Amazon, man. I'm from the Delta. I am a swamp rat through and through. Like the Mobile Tenthal Delta is my happy place, and it legit is. Like if you Google the American Amazon, it brings up that Delta. That's what it's considered. And you think it's rough there? Try tracking in the swamp. Get out there tracking that swamp, that mud, eat your footprints. Like a mud will just eat a footprint. And you'll have one spot of water there that big. It's just a really, really muddy spot of water. And why is that water muddy and none of the other water's muddy? It starts getting into that. And oh boy, that swamp will eat you alive sometimes trying to track.
I believe it. I'm one of those guys that you have to build that community and that network. And so if I have to go to the swamp, I'm that guy that's going to be like, hey, Adam, what are you doing, man? Because that's I got a different area that I work in. So
that's my happy place.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's something to be said for you have to enjoy what you're doing, and I like the tracking aspect, and there is no doubt that it is a super important thing. But I think it's just I don't know, for some reason I didn't pick it up, and it's probably just not doing it enough. I think that's part of it. Is if you were out there all the time, your eyes start getting trained to that.
100,000,000%. They do. So that's the thing is once you get the knowledge base and you start kind of putting it in the day to day and looking for it, I get crap all the time. People are like, how do you see that? Like, how are you driving down the road? You see an antelope over there, 600 yards. Like, I don't know. I just see it. Like, it just jumps out. But it is due to that. I look for you. I'm always looking. I'm always watching. One of my best friends, who was a legendary K9 trainer, legendary special operations guy. I think he's the longest standing kennel master in special operations history, guy named Ben Rader. And drives Ben crazy. Like I'll be at his house or sitting in his office and he'd be like, quit looking at everything. Cause my eyes are I'm always looking at everything around me.
Eyeballing everybody. I don't know. It was sad. We, Brian, were you on my team when I took off on that track and it come to find out it was just a whole bunch of turkeys that were
but I remember
all over the place.
I remember you telling us about it whenever you came back, when your team came back. You said, I thought I was hot on something.
Man, they were beating me up. And then finally, like I just looked up and I seen all this I was like, boom, there it is, and I took off and then get to the end. I'm like, wait a second, this isn't even human track.
Right. That's the thing is, a lot of sign usually is not the sign you want.
Yeah. Oh man, it was everywhere too. It was like way too easy. And I should have known better. I should have known better that it was just too easy, but alas, I did not. You get all excited and you just take off and it was slightly humbling.
And that's something also, I don't know whose class y'all took, and that's something, it's real hard as an instructor to teach tracking because, sometimes it's the littlest, dumbest things ever. Like, it is the dumbest thing ever. And, I've been teaching in Colorado the past couple of years, and up here is real hard. Because you flip a rock over, and then you'll have moisture on the rock, and 10 minutes later, it's gone. Like, it's just gone. So up here, it and that's everywhere. It has its own tricks and intricacies. But as an instructor, it's so hard to teach that, show that minuscule sign sometimes. And it's a really hard thing to teach. And I think, I brought Jimmy up one time. I think Jimmy's going to come up and hang out for the weekend while I'm going to be up there. And if so, I'm going to put him to work because he's a phenomenal teacher also. But
there you go.
He's one of the best there is at pointing out a sign to instructor to students and helping people see.
I've heard his name.
I tell you, we've got go ahead, Brian.
I said I've heard his name many times, Jimmy Dunn.
And I think the world of him. He's just one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and he is dialed in when it comes to teaching tracking.
He taught directly under David Scott Donlin, didn't he?
Yeah, as far as to my understanding, he did. Yes.
Before David passed away, he gave me the rights to reprint and bind and sell his book.
Yeah, as far as I know, Jimmy taught directly under or trained directly under David for forever, to my knowledge. Yes.
Yeah, I hear good
Yeah, I
things.
know. We've got Sue LaRue. Of course, he's he was with David Scott Donnelly, and he's worked with a bunch of them out there. What was the guy out there? I'll think of his name. He was sign cutter for him as well. But and then Charlie Williams with Pineland Resources. We got to get all you guys together here at Fallout. Everybody be there. You'll I'm sure
Oh,
you'll
I'm
hit it
fired
off
up,
there.
man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Like I told you earlier, I'm leaving Colorado Saturday, and I'm gonna take my time, and I got the bus ready to go, and we're gonna put over there, and I'm gonna spend the winter in the east. Maybe stay back up that way permanent. I don't know. I'm looking for somewhere to settle, kind of. So.
No, yeah, well, and yeah, that's got to be a difference of born and raised in Bama, and then all the way up there in that cold, and now you're returning.
It ain't for me.
That's a different type of cold. That's a different type of cold.
It's not for me. Yeah, it's I like it out here. It's beautiful country, and it's not even as much the politics as it is just I don't know. It's a different type of people out here, and it's I'm born in the Southeast. I'm used to folks acting a certain way, and kind of think I want to get back to that.
You know, I was both ends of that. I lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana for about 20 years. I was born and raised in the Boot Hill of the Ozarks there in Missouri. I was born and raised in Missouri and then moved all over the place, ended up in Indiana and got stuck there for about 20 years. And same thing, right there on the Michigan line. Like Patrick Seven there, he loves living in the communist state of Michigan.
You sound like Uncle Ted now.
Man, that snow was just every time I turn around. Here's a foot of snow. Here's another foot and a half of snow. You shovel it out, snow comes right back. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
So 20 years of that, man. I'm digging this. We've been here for 10 years now. We've been here in North Carolina for 10 years up here in Wilkes County, which is the old moonshining capital of the United States. And the home of NASCAR, for any of y'all that didn't know that, the first track is right over here in North Wilkesboro that they opened up just a couple years ago again. So, but yeah, I love it. I love it. The hills here, where else can you? I like it because I can walk outside, and we're about, the back of the property is about 3,000 foot elevation. But I can walk outside in January in my T-shirt. I've even rode my Harley in January and February before, but I can drive just in 45 minutes over to Boone and go ski if I feel the need to. Right. I mean, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I hadn't figured out where I'm going to settle yet. I got family right over outside of Johnson City, and I don't think I want to go back to the coast and back all the way down to Mobile. I'm looking for somewhere else, but I don't know. I'm going to be back that way and looking for somewhere to call home, I think.
Well, the heat down there is just about as bad as the cold up top.
It's bad. It's bad.
I used to work down in South Georgia all the time, down Valdez, or Valdosta, Georgia, right there in South Georgia. And I'm telling you right now, man, y'all can have that crap.
I think the hottest I've ever been was at a little nowhere shipyard down there, somewhere around Valdosta off the coast, right there. And I think that's the hottest I've ever been.
I used to work.
It was,
did you?
Yeah, June of 2024. I was down there to get my dog. I mean, he gets up and jumps on me from time to time. But Adam, as soon as he heard your voice, because I picked him up from Mobile, Alabama, last June.
Yeah, I remember you going up there. You told me that.
Yeah, he's throwing his bone around. He gets all excited. He hears the southern accent there, so he's been all sorts of wound up.
Right?
But yeah, man, it was hot down there. It was no joke. Totally hot.
It's hot. It's my
everything is better in Michigan except for you nailed it, Patrick. I don't know why you still living there, man. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why Ted Nugent lives there. For that matter. He needs to get out himself, but maybe he just
Uncle
likes to
Ted's
fight.
About the governor now.
Pretty much, yeah. That whole Upper Peninsula. We actually talked about moving to the UP, and I will tell you, I love the Upper Peninsula. It's gorgeous, and there's no people around. That's what makes it really gorgeous. Is you go across the straits in that Mackinac and into the Upper Peninsula, and it's just you can ride for miles and not seeing a single soul. The problem is that we were up there, and in April, you had to take a snowmobile to the grocery store. And I was like, nope, no, I will not take snowmobiles to the grocery store in April. It's not happening. So,
No.
what did Patrick say? Let's see here. T, I don't think you would last a UP winter. I guarantee you I would, but I got smart and I choose not to, Patrick.
I would, but I would look like that kid on Christmas Story. I'd be walking around like that all the time. Look like the
I was
Michigan
up.
man.
Yeah, I was up in Butte, Montana. I watched the doorknob inside the room, inside the hotel room, frost over because it was so cold on the outside.
Oh, that's like, yeah. Last year
it was stupid cold.
I teach a cold weather survival class, and last year up there, it got stupid cold. I mean, and then I got snowed in for a couple of weeks up at Cripple Creek, but it hits negative 20s, negative 30s in that valley up there on the regular, and it gets stupid chilly. Cost me a power.
There, what was it? Schenectady, New York, upstate New York. There's another one. Just complete snow in by the feet. Been up in that area. And well, even for Indiana, I remember I was out, I had cut my teeth in a lot of construction work over the years, and we had to finish up on an insurance job, and we were hanging siding. We were hanging siding in like January, and I'm not even kidding you. It was like 38 below zero with the wind chill. My beard, I was snot running down it, trying to keep warm, breaking pieces of my beard off. It was freezing.
I don't know. I still say the coldest place I've ever been is North Texas, like Pampa, Texas. There ain't nothing in between there and the North Pole but one fence post, and it's blowed over, leaning sideways.
Oh, well, that's the thing too. Is there Indiana and Ohio, the fields, the cornfields, man, the wind chill, the wind gets blowing. You would end up with drifts, 9 feet high in the middle of the road. Up against your house. I remember walking outside and you couldn't even see your vehicle. It was just gone. It was just a big pile of snow over the top of it. So, what's Chris say? Really high. Imagine living in Dearborn and having to hear the call prayer 5 times a day starting at sunrise.
That's no joke, man.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't. No. I've listened to that for multiple years and I'm good with it.
Yep. Dearborn is the ISIS capital of the country for now, but they're getting capitals all over the place is what it's looking like.
It's spooky, man. It's spooky.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Let's take a break for a second because Brian is our Triple G, the go-to gear guy. That's what we nickname him, the Triple G.
Just don't change it to fancy pants, man. Just stick with fancy pants.
It's triple. Well, you can do a combination thing. It's like Triple G fancy pants.
Oh,
it's a combo thing. But but you have come out with some new products, and you've got some more awesome deals going on at Survival Gear. What you got going on?
We do. So we kind of dropped the ball with September is National Preparedness Month. And we've had so much stuff going on here. We decided, all right, let's parlay that into October. We're going to call it Preptober. So this morning we launched the release. It's going to be 25% off through the end of October for the Ground Branch Bug Out Bag. I just put a link in the private chat there, T, if you're able to throw that up.
Boom. It's up there for them right now.
Thank you, sir. We've got a blog there. We got a video coming out here in the next couple of days, waiting for that, the editing to finish up with that. But the Ground Branch Bug Out Bag was curated by Joe Tedeye, retired member of Ground Branch Special Operations. So basically I'm going to say about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, he said, Brian, I've slowly been bringing in, want to bring a bag, like just a small medical size bag. He said, I want to have the bare bones of survival rather than having all these bug out bags. You know what happens with bug out bags? You start packing them up, and next thing you know, you're humping around 60, 70, 80 pounds on your back with all this crap you don't need. He said, I want something that's going to be able to fit right on my belt if I need to and gets me through a 72-hour, E&E situation, so to speak, or bug out situation, rather, to get from point A to point B. So he slowly over, year and a half was bringing in products that he was testing himself, stuff that's affordable. It's not going to break the bank, but gets the job done. And he came to me and he said, do you think you can source this stuff? And he shipped the bag out to me. So I went to work on it. It took me probably about a year to find all these products and find them in the quantities we needed and find a good price for it. So yeah, Joe put together the bag. I sourced the products, and we finally just released it this morning. So again, 25% off at the end of the month. Now, we've got sales going on every week this month. We also have a free webinar on Thursday. If you guys sign up for our email list, we don't bombard you with emails. We don't, except for this week, because we've got this free webinar coming up on digital security, a company called the Privacy Academy. So free. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're doing it this Thursday, and these guys, man, they really know their stuff. I mean, they're going to point you in the direction of getting a secure phone, a secure, iPad, a secure laptop, whatever it might be. And they do Q&A pretty much every week through their platform, and they host all sorts of webinars for free, troubleshooting and things like that, getting your devices set up.
Well, I'm going to tell you that the phones are getting worse. I mean, they have always been bad, but now it is instantaneous. Whatever I am talking about pops up on this phone in my feed. Whatever I Google pops up on this phone in my feed, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, I don't care what it is everywhere in your face. Even down to when I wake up in the morning and I walk over and pick my phone up, as soon as you touch it, it starts kicking notifications. You guys notice that? Like as soon as you grab your smartphone, this thing's like, it knows. It's like, oh, he's awake. Here you go. Ding, 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 ding. You know, it's like I just won tokens in Vegas or something. It drives me insane. So no, what you're saying, and here's your first customer is the lovely Melody Weatherman. Ask Melody about her hike that they did. I believe it was earlier this year. Yeah. With Pete Robertucci. I'm sure you heard about that, Brian. And
I heard.
She's interested in that 72-hour fanny pouch that you got because I don't think Mel likes the big backpacks. So
it doesn't weigh much. I mean, it's just under 3 pounds.
Hey, speaking from experience, like I tell everybody, my spirit animal is a donkey because I can hump a heavy rope, go low speed for long distance. But hey, man, that little bag Brian's putting together, like, why wouldn't you? It makes sense. Why you want to carry the whole world? Like it's stupid. Throw it in your car, whatever. I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, there's a place for carrying the whole world. We did a survival, basically the minimum is what it was with Alan Kay last February. So it was pretty chilly out. It was still chilly at night. And it was basically just stripping everybody down of their creature comforts and making you suffer a little bit and then reeling everybody back in and showing, here's what you really need. Here's what you don't. And, Alan, of course, will be there. You got to meet him as well, Adam. Alan is one of those guys that the dude he's done it enough. He's done it so much. It's just second nature. And he's the same way. He's got a fanny pouch that he carries a headlamp, a poncho, a fire starter, and that's it. And a flashlight, maybe a couple of other things. And that's his, if I got to just beat shoe leather right now, that's what I got on me. It's just
only thing I put in there different will be a whoopee. That's why I like my chest rig. I can stick a whoopee in the back pocket.
Yep. Yeah, he's a big poncho guy, and he does these. They're a German poncho. What is that poncho, Brian?
The German ones, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I have 2 of them here. I've been trying to get them in the store. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's just trying to find the time with all the stuff we have going on here. I did reach out. You can find it at Coleman's. There's Andrew there.
He said there was still snow on the ground when I got there. It was a little chilly.
Brian, do you sell Wiggy's products?
Wiggy's products. It's a WIGGY.
Yeah.
I tried to. Marsteiner told me about them, and I reached out to them several times and never heard back from them.
Yeah, they're a pretty well-known name in the special operations community, and I have a plethora of Wiggy stuff. Like that's my go-to bags is Wiggy's bags for sure.
I heard they're incredible.
Yes, they are. I'll have all mine out there. I'll show you. Like they got a sleep system that goes together. It's insane, and Like I've
Nice.
got OCP one that I've just beat the ever loving crap out of, and it just keeps on taking it. And it's like I'm about 6'2", probably 185 right now. I'm kind of tall and skinny, but I can get in my bag and I have room to move around, and I love it because I can't stand getting in a bag and being
Oh
stuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, well, there you go, Chris. Like, grab you one of them German ones again. Them German ones I thought was awesome.
Throw that up,
because
T. I just sent you that. Because I'm not
did you?
hosting, I can't actually post the
I got you.
website. So
I got you. I got you. Here we go. Let's see here. Where is this?
That's what Alan was saying.
address.
He's like what 6'5" or 6'6". He's tall, dude.
Yeah, he's close to 6'6".
And these German ponchos, you can break them down and basically make them into a whoopee that it's like 7 foot long. So it's plenty tall for him. Yeah,
yeah.
And they're
for shelter. Yeah, I mean, we had them things catching, flip it upside down, catch water, using it for a tent, wrapping up in it. And the things are so sturdy, you can use them for, like if you got to medevac somebody out on a stretcher, you turn it into a gurney.
Right.
Yeah, they're heavy duty.
That was awesome. I'm not familiar with this Wiggy thing. Somebody's going to have to clue me in.
Wiggy sleeping bags, man. It's the only way to go. I got two things that I don't deviate on, and that's my Wiggy's bag, no questions, and my Haven tent. Haven tents are freaking cheap. They're like, I think mine was $400. That is by far the most gangster setup I have ever had. Love it. Sleeps better than my bed. Like that's two things that I don't compromise on is my Wiggy's bag and my Haven tent.
Now, which model of bag are you running, Adam, for Wiggies?
I've got I've got a OCP XL mummy bag, and then I'd have to go look at those black ones. I've got a black, it's the number 1, number 2, and the number 3, so it's the 3-piece sleep system. And then Chris
got in wet and woke up dry. What are these things made out of?
I don't know. That's the only way to go, though. Definitely the only way to go.
Man, sounds like it. Never heard of it. I'm gonna have to check these out now. I can tell you
y'all
that
live in the land of trees, you will absolutely love a Haven tent. That joker is gangster. It's a flat lay hammock, so it's a hammock, but you don't sleep like that. Like the line goes across the top and it drops down, so it's a true flat lay. And your sleeping mat is the floor of the tent. Like that's the structural part, and it legit is as comfortable as my bed, if not more comfortable. And like I can sit on the edge of it at night, take my shoes off, turn around, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, spin back around, put my shoes on, and they're dry. Regardless of the rain or whatever, because the way the rain fly comes over, like the tent and the rain fly are two separate pieces. So you got a porch.
You said you're running the XL
on the Haven?
Yeah.
No, I have a regular Haven.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a regular Haven and an XL Wiggies.
I've got to check them out now because you got my interest.
And Havens are freaking cheap. They're like $300. Like they're not a $1,500 tent. I think the most expensive one they have is made out of all canvas, and it's I think like $500.
Wow. I did invest into the level 7 stuff after hanging with Alan, and I will say that for just as long as you've got your under layers right, man, them level 7s keep you warm and toasty in some really cold stuff, and you can twist them all up into about nothing and cram them down in the bottom of a small bag, and that was what I learned from Alan Kay, man. That there is gold as far as I'm concerned. But
absolutely.
Yeah, a good tent. Sleep, people they're all about all survival and roughing it and make it hard on yourself, but there's something to be said for if you're sleep deprived, you're not functioning at 100%.
So, in my opinion, the most overlooked thing in survival is self-care.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's self-care. By far, it's never really talked about. People all like, I make it a point. I'm going to wash my feet. Yeah, I got dude wipes at every pack. I'm going to take a whore bath at night, wash my feet, and then I'm going to get a good night's sleep. To me, that's imperative. Because you think about it, if you're in a true survival situation, the ability just to clean yourself off is going to increase your probability of success. It's going to reduce the chance of disease, infection, anything like that. As well as now you're going to get a decent night's sleep. You're going to have your head in the game. You're going to be less likely to make a mistake that's going to take you out of the game. Like, there's just so many benefits that come from self-care and prioritizing. Yeah, I can pack ultralight, but is an extra 6 ounces going to kill me, or is it going to benefit me and me being comfortable and refueled and refreshed and ready to move with a clear head?
I couldn't agree more. You know, and I used to be rough on myself because it was cool. It was kind of like, you know, back when I rode Harleys as a young man, I had a hardtail, no windshield.
100%.
And then 20 years later, I have a Road King with air ride and a big windshield and comfortable stuff because
I went from a Springer with 18-inch ape hangers on 10-inch risers to a
hanging and
18s on 10-inch risers on a Springer to a Street Glide Special with a windshield and a heated seat.
Same deal, exactly. And then, you know, that's what I tell you, somewhere I used to cut corners a lot, and I'm still paying for it to this day, even though I don't go cheap anymore, and that is with shoes. You know, people will buy. If I'm not spending $300 on a pair of boots, it ain't worth buying. Like have
y'all tried Go Ruck boots yet?
I have not. I'm a Merrill guy.
Hey, I've been a Solomon guy for years. Solomons and Merrills, like live by them, die by them. Like, but those Go Rucks, I turned Jimmy on to them last year. We and him were doing a tracking class, and the Go Ruck MacV Sogs, man, I have heard nothing but good things about them.
I have not. What about you, Brian? You check these things out?
No, I'm looking them up right now.
I have heard nothing but good things about them.
Oh, so you just heard good that you don't have any yet, huh?
I've been waiting on my Solomons to die, and they're teetering on the edge. I kind of waiting on mine to die to get a new pair, but yeah.
I'll tell you what, I wore them about 2 years ago. I bought my first pair of Solomons. And man, I've been hooked on them since. We did a family trip. My family's from Ireland. We went up to Ireland, and I took some time. I went way further north, like the northernmost tip. And when I say northernmost tip, I mean I was standing on the edge of the cliff looking down into the ocean, northernmost tip. And I walked up there, and it's just this fine mist of rain, and you know it's going sideways and everything else. And even though I had a raincoat on, man, I was soaked. Every inch of me was soaked except my feet. Bone dry to Sullivan's.
I'm wearing a pair of the Gore-Tex Speed Crosses right now.
I'll tell you what, man, they're comfortable too. Like I don't get blisters, no break-in period.
No, and I've got solid combat boots that I've had for 2 years. That they, like I said, they just won't die. I've been wanting a pair of the Go Rucks, but my Solomons won't give it up.
So Andrew said he had a pair of them. He didn't like them. You know, a lot of it's like anything of what kind of size person you are. How do you walk? Right. You know, I walk kind of funky on the outside edge of my feet.
Me too.
And so I wear that outside shoulder off. And so even though the boot may still be in decent shape, at least tread wise, I usually blow the whole side of the boot out. That's the first
I wear the ball off of my big toe. Like I walk on the ball of my big toe to wear that out.
Yep. And then I've got a limp from busting myself up many years ago. So, you know, I drag one foot a little bit more than the other, and it tears the boot up. So, you know, Solomon and Merrill's, those are my two go-tos now that have always done me right. But I'll try anything once. I know I bought a pair of, what was it? I had a pair of Danners when I was out kicking tires on, as a road tech. So I was always in a parking lot all day long on the side of the interstate, parking lot, gravel. And I was just shredding boots to pieces. And I bought a pair of Danners, and these things lasted me longer than any other boot in that profession. I got 6 months out of them, but they were guaranteed for a year. So I called them up and I was like, hey, hit me with another pair. You know, here's the pictures. I'll ship them back to you. And the third pair, they told me to piss off, but I did get, they honored it for 3, you know, they give me a third pair, and they said, you probably need to find a new company for your shoe needs.
Danner is a really good boot.
So I gave mine away. I gave my danners away, man. I hated them. They were the
Did you?
most uncomfortable things ever. Yeah, I gave them to my marketing guy. I'm like,
What?
here, take these. Just
My wife turned me on to some
$85 for yours.
Sorels last year. I like those quite a bit. She bought me some Sorels for that cold weather class I was teaching, and I like those quite a
I
bit.
don't have experience with those, but Hawaii Volcano Squad, there just said I have Irish setters. Dude, I've had about 4 different pairs of Irish setters by Red Wings. I love those boots. Love them. I put them on in the middle of a class. I was taking a Pathfinder class. You do a lot of rocking in some of those classes. Depends on which class it is. And my first set of Irish setters, I had them for maybe 6 years, 6.5, and I knew they were going towards the end. And I bought a brand new pair, driving to a Pathfinder class, put them in the back of my Forerunner. Thank God, because they just fell apart in the middle of a rainstorm. So I went and grabbed the brand new ones. Figure I might have some blister issues. Not a single issue.
And see, that's what I'm hearing about the Go Rucks. Everybody's talking about, like, I just threw them on and went. And I'm like, I'm in.
Well, I'll try them out. Let's see. Love my Danners, wore them for years. Only after I threw them away, I learned they had a free lifetime warranty. Yep. No, they do not. They have a 3 lifetime warranty. The 3rd one, they tell you to go piss off. So, but that's still good. I mean, I'm going to give them props. They did all right to me.
Free.
I'm not. Yeah, they got a 3 lifetime warranty.
That's fun.
So, what do we have? What are we expecting at Fallout? Because you're going to be joining us here in a little over a week, and we've got you down for doing the primitive trapping. So, what all during the weekend can we expect? And then you're offering a class kicking off Sunday at noon. That is the deep dive where you're going to really get everybody's hands dirty. So, first off, what's everybody can expect through the weekend?
What we're going to go into, obviously tracking and trapping go hand in hand. So I'm not going to teach tracking, but there's going to be a element of tracking because we don't just set traps in random places, right? But a lot of it is and a lot of this, and it didn't make sense and never even dawned on me until after I thought about it. But so, like I said earlier, I got hurt in 2018 and lost the use of my right arm totally out of that process. So all I have is the left arm now. So like what I teach, and I think what kind of surprised Jax was I stick with about 3 or 4 different primitive trigger systems. One thing I'm real big on is ethical trapping. If we're going to trap, we're going to trap ethically, and that's just going to be it. I won't negotiate that because it's something I feel like I am a outdoorsman. I think if we're going to do it, we have to do it ethically. So we're focused a lot on, I want traps to work, and I want them to work one time, and I want them to work effectively and efficiently, right? So I try to stay away from the shiny object syndrome of, let's go with this, let's go with that, let's go with this. And I kind of stick with a couple tried and true triggers, couple tried and true methods that obviously is what Jackson and I did I think we did about a week-long in-depth, one-on-one. Her and I spent quite a bit of time together doing all kinds of traps, but it's basically taking these 2 or 3 different trigger systems and showing you how you can effectively acquire food in basically any environment with this without having to get off and spend months of learning different stuff, right? So let's get into this. These work. I can use it to fish with. I can use it for a treadle set. I can use it for a cubby set. I can use it for a bunch of different things. So I want to show everybody a lot of different options of how to use these sets, right? How to build these sets and go off in the target species, because I mean, that's a lot of what it is. It's like we have to trap for a specific species just because of anatomy and the way things work and stuff's heads at different heights. So that's a lot of it is, it's going to be a dive off into teaching people how to identify species in the area, how to identify what we're targeting, how to target those species with traps, how to effectively neutralize those species with traps, as well as there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be some tracking because we have to identify productive areas to put our traps, and then we have to identify productive areas, that we may not, our productive area might be here, and then your trapping area might be here. So now we have to figure out movement patterns and all that of how we're going to catch something in between a bedding area and a feeding area or something like that. So,
So you're saying like less is more with a lot of this, with the trapping, get good at a view, focus on those, and stick with it. I know a guy, said the same thing about knots. I mean, it's cool, all the different knot tying that you can do. But he was like, man, you can spend, years learning all these knots, or you can learn 3 or 4 solid knots that's going to take you wherever you need to go.
And you spend 10 years learning traps, and what are you good at?
Right.
You're good at learning traps. You're not good at trapping. You're good at learning traps, right? So if I can take 3 sets and apply them, right? So it's a funny story my mom tells is I was sitting on my mom's porch one day. She was like, it'd be nice to have a hog for, it was Christmas or Thanksgiving or something. I'm like, all right, cool. And so I went out there, cut down a tree, and sat on her front porch. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to catch us a hog. She's like, how you going to catch a hog with a couple of sticks and some string? I'm like, just be cool. And literally went across the street from her house, went out there the next morning and had about 125-pound sow hog, and we had a hog for Christmas.
Nice.
It's the application of, right? It's not, you don't need to know 800 different sets. It's the application of. Where it's going to benefit you is 1, knowing where to put it, knowing 2, how to put it in different sets, and knowing 3, how to make it effective. Because just because you put it in the right area and it looks sexy, don't mean it's going to catch worth a crap. And what looks sexy to us, don't mean nothing. And it's figuring out the little intricacies. It's figuring out the dumb stuff. It's, because there's a trial and error phase of everything. There's, I got real blessed and I got real lucky and believe it or not, and I'm going to say this dead out, racism don't really exist in the deep South. Like where I'm from, it's not a thing. When everybody's poor, it ain't no racism.
Just everybody's
right.
poor.
Right. So like I was blessed. I learned how to hunt that Delta from one of the finest black gentlemen I've ever met, a man named DeWitt Hooks, and him and his brothers and his family. And those guys taught me more about animal movements, how stuff moves, than I could ever learn in 100 lifetimes, because they grew up, it was 17 of them, and they ate off the Delta. That's how they survived. And like hanging out with DeWitt and them, and then hanging out with Kenny Roy Johnson and learning how to trap a coyote. Because in Kenny's mind, if you don't catch it on the front left foot, you didn't catch it. And that's the thing. And I agree with that. And, and that's the thing is we got the whole wide world, and I want a coyote to put his front left foot on an 1.5 inch, 1 3/4 circle. That's when you're doing it right. Like Kenny said, if you're not catching them, if you can't call the foot you're going to catch them on before you're catching them, you're not doing it right. And I agree with that. And that's when you dialed in. And I think that's what really made a difference as far as me as in trapping, is being able to have those experiences, being able to hang out with old guys like Kenny Roy and Marvin Havard and these old guys who have trapped for fun for 50, 60 years, and guys like DeWitt who lived off the Delta. And I encourage everybody, like, I don't care where you're at. You can be in Michigan. You can be in Las Vegas. And if you contact your DNR officials, there are licensed trappers in your area. There are DNR sanctioned trappers in your area. And from what I know of trappers, any of these trappers around, if you give them a phone call and say, hey, I want to learn, every one of them will say, yep, come on. And you'll learn more from these guys than you'll ever learn from trying to do it on your own. And that's the thing of it, is trapping something you have to do a lot of, but learn from these guys who do it every single day. Like these dudes know what's going on. And yeah, it's a different style of trapping, because what they're doing is all modern style trapping, but the fundamentals of the game are the same. Trap still has to go in the same place. You still have to lure the same. You bait the same. Everything's the same, except for where you put a trap, or the style of trap we use.
I mean, I think you nailed the essence of trapping right there. I mean, I think you covered the whole thing. That is the essence of trapping. If you didn't call the foot that you were catching on that trap, then you ain't doing it right. That's amazing. Well, guys, we've run through an hour just that quick. This has been a blast. I enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate you one, coming on the show with us, Adam, and two, making the trip down to hang out with us and teach all these people, give them some insight into what we're talking about right now.
I look forward to coming home. It's time for me to be back with my people. I need trees around me.
Man, I hear that. Brian, what you got to roll us out with, man?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I was really excited about tonight's show. Adam and I, we've spoken a few times over the phone, got to know one another, but it's nice to actually put a face to the voice. And, I heard, as T said throughout the show, from Jax about just how amazingly skilled you are. And I could not wait to jump on tonight's show and just learn a little bit more about you and your skill set. So, tracking is something that, again, T and I took a class in tracking. I'm passionate about it, but man, I'm married to my laptop. I don't get enough time to go out there and do it. I did a little bit of trapping, but not enough. Please tell me you're going to open your own school wherever you settle after you leave Colorado.
Definitely not. I have no plans of opening my own school right now, but I am looking for a home to settle at.
All right.
I am looking for a school to teach at currently. Right. Yes, back east. I have no plans of opening my own. I know some of y'all know Mark teaches wilderness first responder. Mark's given me invitations, so I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I have no plans as of, but yes, I definitely am looking that direction, just not opening my own currently.
All right, I got
awesome.
you. I got you.
Hey, I get it. Who wants to deal with all those taxes and all that kind of stuff?
I already have all the business stuff to deal with on the K9.
Exactly. Well, gentlemen, once again, it's been a blast. Brian, thanks for jumping in with us, man. It's been a while. We are going to miss you. This is going to be my last live until after Fallout. So we are going to go live from Fallout with of course, the Angery American and Mr. Tactical Wisdom, Joe Dolio. We will have, they're going to go live from there. We're going to be passing the mic around to all these instructors, and you can jump in there and chit-chat it up with us. So that's going to be going on. But this is the last live for me because I got to finish fixing my truck. I got a whole bunch of stuff to fix and pack, and because these venues takes a whole lot of work, and all next week I'll be out there setting up tents and all that kind of stuff. So can't wait to see all y'all there in just a little over a week. Brian, thanks for jumping on again, man. We're going to miss you, dude. Next year you're going to be back, though.
2026,
next year you're going to be
back. Yes, sir.
And before I leave, I'd like to hit everybody up and implore them. If y'all hadn't checked Brian's stuff out, I definitely advise you to go check out Brian and Brian's stuff. Him and I have been dealing the past, year or so now? We've been talking, Brian.
Pretty close, yeah.
Great guy, great stuff. Definitely check him out. He has some really great stuff and good guy.
Appreciate that, Adam. Thanks so much.
Awesome. And the same goes for this dude over here. If you are interested in that kicking off Sunday at noon, it's the deep dive in that trapping. So you're going to get your hands dirty. And remember, our good friend Jack said this is the man to teach it. We all know Jack. She's been there since the first one of the Mountain Readinesses. So, you guys scroll down Mountain Readiness homepage all the way to the bottom. You'll see that primitive tracking with Adam, and he's almost as pretty as Brian's sexy pants that he's got.
I don't know now.
It was a good picture.
I'm not sure y'all know who you're dealing with. So now, I mean, if I don't show up in sequin pants, I feel like I'm gonna be outdone at this point.
Somebody's gonna take my place, since I'm not gonna be there.
Y'all don't threaten me with a good time.
Right, exactly.
Well, look here, guys. Once again, thanks for joining us, and everybody out there. We appreciate you. We will see you at Fallout, and y'all stay safe and stay ready. Till next time.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely.